With the 2021 NASCAR schedules already released, I thought it was a good time to make my perfect schedule absolutely just what I want. It doesn't have to be realistic at all. And today I'm going to show you my NASCAR Cup Series schedule. I also will have Xfinity and Truck Series schedules coming at some point, and maybe even IndyCar and ARCA, but that's not, confirmed or anything. But this schedule has been taken from what fans everywhere want, and it's very short track and road course oriented and focused on that. And we basically return to the golden days of NASCAR, to its roots. A couple things to go over. Weather will play a factor, so obviously I'm not going to put Canada in November because it's probably going to be a blizzard. And this is the most diverse schedule in terms of the tracks, because there is literally not one instance in the schedule besides the duels, but they're not even points paying, they don't really even count, that you have the same type of track back-to-back. There are no 2 mile-and-a-halfs back-to-back, no 2 short tracks, road courses, super speedways, anything like that back-to-back. It'll keep the fans interested every single week and make it challenging for the drivers and the teams and just everybody involved. So let's go ahead and get into the schedule. So we start off on Saturday, February 6th for the Busch Clash. It is a night race on Saturday, and it is on the Daytona short track. And you may be saying, well, there is no short track at Daytona. Well, actually what we do is, just like at the Battle at the Beach in 2013 with the modifieds, you make a short track on the backstretch of Daytona. We can put in seating there, just portable seating, and it should be fine. Slap Shoes also mentioned this in one of his videos, and right when they announced that the road course would be the Clash, I kind of thought they should have did this in place of that, because when you think of the word clash, you don't think you think of things like doors and bumpers banging. That's a clash, and with the super speedway you had that, but the crashes were just too much. But the short track would be great with that, and I feel like on the road course you're just not going to have any of that, especially since it's such a big road course, such big straightaways. They're going to get so spread out, and everybody wants more short track racing, so we're giving them that at the beginning of the season before even the first points paying race. Now when we move to the duels on Thursday, February 11th, a night race. Now keep in mind, this is the original Daytona Speedweeks schedule instead of just the condensed one, so this is Thursday night, and it's on the Daytona road course. Now the duels have been pretty good sometimes on the oval, but sometimes the drivers just want to keep their cars so clean that it's just a single file boring race. So this will provide a way that the cars don't get destroyed and they don't have to constantly go to backup cars or possibly miss the Daytona 500 if they're an open car. And the racing should be pretty good, and it's not like we're calling this the Clash, we're calling these the duels, so it's not going to have all that bumper banging. And Speedweeks now has a short track, a road course, and of course the Daytona 500, which will be the super speedway. So basically the top 3 best types of racing in NASCAR. So it has everything anybody wants, whatever your favorite type of racing is. So then we move on to Sunday, February 14th, the Daytona 500, obviously a day race. Obviously these races will start at noon if they're a day race, just in case of weather. And stages will still be a thing, but we'll keep it going green flag, no cautions, and playoffs. There are no playoffs in this because playoffs are just unfair. So we'll go on after the Daytona 500. We stay in Florida for Sunday, February 21st, a day race at Homestead Miami Speedway. Homestead Miami Speedway was originally for 2021 supposed to be the second race of the season to keep all the fans in Florida, which now it's going to be the third because Auto Club got canceled. But I think it's a great idea to have it being the second race of the season, so we can take all the fans from Daytona and bring them down to Homestead Miami Speedway, and that'll just help with the capacity of Homestead, and those fans will have a great time. They could see the Clash, the duels, obviously all the trucks and Xfinity races, and then come down to see Homestead with all of the series as well. Then we move on Sunday, February 28th to Sonoma Raceway. Having a road course this early in the season is a great idea to once again keep with that track diversity, and instead of clumping them all together pretty much, kind of like what they're doing in 2021. So we don't want that to happen. And in February, Sonoma will be nice looking. It'll have green grass instead of that barren wasteland we see in June. And it'll kind of be like Riverside when they had that early in the season. So I think it'll be a great idea. Then we move on to Sunday, March 7th. We have Auto Club Speedway during the day, obviously. So Auto Club got canceled this year, but right now on my schedule, we're using the 2-mile track. Now, whenever they get to the short track in real life, then we can say on my schedule it's the short track, because I think it's good that they're making it the short track, but I want to preserve the 2-mile as long as we can. And I also think whenever we get the short track at Auto Club, it would be cool to have that as the season finale. But right now, the 2-mile, we're going to preserve it as long as we can, and it is the 4th race of the season, staying in the West Coast swing with Sonoma. And then rounding out the West Coast swing, we have Sunday, March 14th at Las Vegas Motor Speedway during the day. Las Vegas is one of those 1.5 miles that it's kind of hit or miss. It has some character with it because of the kind of bumpy track surface. Otherwise, it's not anything special, but it's good to have it here for all those Las Vegas fans. We head back east on Sunday, March 21st for Greenville Pickens Speedway. Now, this is the first new track on my schedule besides the Clash, which really isn't a new track. But Greenville Pickens Speedway is one of NASCAR's tracks that they have been going to for so long, but unfortunately they don't anymore. The Greenville area is a massive place for NASCAR fan base and TV ratings. This short track is a 1/2 mile, basically what fans have been asking for, bumper and door banging. So I know that this is exactly what fans have been craving, and I'm ready for it. I think Greenville Pickens is one of those places that, obviously this doesn't have to be realistic, but one of those places that if it was put on the NASCAR schedule, it would just widen the diversity of the schedule and everybody would love more short track racing. Now on Sunday, March 28th, we have Texas Motor Speedway, a day race. Texas is pretty bad. We could just say we reconfigure turns 1 and 2 and it'll be pretty good. Obviously, it's still a 1.5 mile track, which is never the best type of track. But once again, it's not with any other 1.5 miles right back to back with it, so it should be fine. Then we have an off weekend for Easter, so off week right there. And then we return for Sunday, April 11th at Bristol Motor Speedway, the day race at Bristol for the 8th race of the season. This is on pavement, it's not on dirt, because the dirt Bristol race is really a dumb idea. So we're not doing that. We're going to have 2 pavement races at Bristol on my schedule. And once again, another short track, beating and banging. Everybody loves Bristol, and we need 2 races of Bristol on the pavement because so many people love that track. The stands are always filled, except for the spring race. But if we market it correctly and we market the schedule so great, then the stands will be filled, trust me. All right, the 9th race of the season on Saturday, April 17th, we have Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, this is a night race. On my schedule, I have a lot more night races than usual, just in case of weather, especially in the summer I do. And Atlanta Motor Speedway, its track is so rough, it kind of provides for terrible racing lately. But if we reconfigure it and make it better, just like its old configuration, and have it as a night race, I think the intensity will really be ramped up, and it'll be a great race. Once again, another 1.5 miles, but we've seen, as history has showed us, that this is one of the best 1.5 miles if it is configured correctly. Then on Saturday, April 24th, another night race, we have the Martinsville night race, which everybody has been looking forward to for a long time, which it started in 2020, and we're going to continue it on this schedule. Another short track. Martinsville is a great track. We've seen so many great finishes, just so many great races there. It's always intense, so we cannot wait for the Martinsville night race. On Sunday, May 2nd, we head to Talladega Superspeedway. Obviously, Talladega is one of those races that always has action. It's barely ever boring, especially with the package they have now. It's so amazing. And Talladega, such a wide, steep banked track. It's going to be really exciting once again on my schedule. Then we head to Fairground Speedway in Nashville on Sunday, May 9th. Once again, another short track that NASCAR needs to return to. Fans have been pushing for it for such a long time, and we are going to see some of the best racing there that we have seen in a long time because Nashville, that's one of NASCAR's greatest mistakes was getting rid of this track off of its Cup Series schedule and all of its series schedule. So we can't wait to have it back, and I hope sometime in the future we get to have it back in real life. Then on Sunday, May 16th, for the 13th race of the season, Dover International Speedway, the 1 mile track in Dover, Delaware. Concrete surface. This track has barely any place for a mistake, and it really provides for great racing with its multi-grooved racetrack. Sometimes we see kind of boring races there, but overall, it's a great track. So we're keeping that on our schedule on May 16th. Then for the All-Star race, we have Saturday, May 22nd, for the NASCAR Open and All-Star race. It'll be at Bowman Gray Stadium, obviously that's Saturday night. Now, on my schedule, the All-Star race can rotate every single year. It will rotate a couple ideas like South Boston, the Charlotte Dirt Track, and Sebring. Those are just a few ideas. But Bowman Gray is really close to Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So having it really close there is a great idea. This is a quarter-mile track. You literally cannot pass someone without bumping into them. It's basically what NASCAR fans have been asking for, is just amazing short track racing, and that's what's going to happen at this track. And you can see this other picture of it right here. I mean, there's literally nowhere to go besides the other guy's bumper, so it's going to be a great race. Of course, the 14th race of the season on Sunday, May 30th, Memorial Day weekend, we have the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's that night race, the Coke 600. It's a crown jewel. Even though we haven't seen the most entertaining racing there ever, you still got to keep it on your schedule on the oval. On Saturday, June 5th, we head to Iowa Speedway for a night race. Once again, another short track, but it's a multi-groove short track that's really amazing. Xfinity and trucks used to go there. IndyCar used to go there. It's really a shame what's happening to it. But, in my world, we can go to it for the Cup Series because absolutely fantastic racing happens at Iowa. And I think Iowa is probably, if not the most, one of the most entertaining and best racetracks that the Cup Series will probably never go to. So I really hope that somehow Iowa comes back onto the Cup Series schedule sometime in real life, even though it's very unlikely. For the 16th race of the season on Sunday, June 13th, we have Michigan International Speedway. Obviously, during the day, this track doesn't have lights, but Michigan, it's a 2-mile track that lots of people don't like, but it deserves at least one race, and I'm glad we're only getting one race for it in the 2021 schedule. And having it in this June date during the summer will be a great time for the fans, because I know there's lots of fans in Michigan. So having them there at this track is a great idea. So starting off the Illinois Double on Sunday, June 20th, we have Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway for a day race. This track is basically a reverse-faced Darlington. It's an egg-shaped like Darlington. And it's really flat, and it's like, it has Martinsville-type corners. It definitely races like a short track, and it's really flat, which kind of reminds me of original old flat Homestead Miami Speedway, and we've seen some great Truck Series races there lately, and the Truck Series goes there, so I think it would be great to have Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup all go there on the same weekend. Worldwide Technology Raceway is in St. Louis, so it has a great market there, and the fans should be packed. IndyCar also has some great races there, and even IndyCar gets their stands filled, so just imagine a Cup race. On Saturday, June 26th, we have Chicagoland Speedway, a Chicagoland night race. Now, obviously, Chicagoland's taken off of the 2021 schedule. I guess it's better to not have as many mile and a halves, but Chicagoland is probably one of the better ones, so it is a little unfortunate to see it go, but I'm bringing it back on my schedule, even though it's not the biggest deal in the world that it's gone. But I'm bringing it back because there's two years in a row it had great racing because the pavement is at the perfect timing. And having it as a night race is great because nobody wants to sit in the summer heat, and also just in case of rain, so we can always postpone it to Sunday instead of Monday because nobody's watching on Monday. So for the 4th of July weekend on Saturday, July 3rd, we have Daytona International Speedway, obviously the night race. Having the Coke Zero Sugar 400 on this date should have never been changed. Having Daytona in August is really in the middle of hurricane season. Not that it's not going to rain or a hurricane's not going to come in July, but it's much less likely than in August, especially late August, almost September. So having it here it's just tradition. There was no need to change it. It's tradition, and it's too much of a wild card before the playoffs when everybody crashes. And somebody who was way better than somebody else, but unfortunately had a little bit of luck in this race, may not make the playoffs compared to somebody else. So Daytona is one of the best tracks out there, and I think it's a great time to have it on the 4th of July weekend. After that, for the 20th race of the season, we have Sunday, July 11th for Rockingham Speedway. Now, this is a day race. Rockingham is one of the other massive mistakes NASCAR's made. Massive mistake to get rid of this track off of their schedules. It's a 1-mile track, but it has multiple grooves of racing. The drivers love it. It's a great track because it's really oddly shaped, and it's not made for the cars. That's the good thing about NASCAR, is that they can go to these tracks that really test the ability of the cars, and that is when one of them is Rockingham. Rockingham is a great track, and we need to return to it soon. And it's not completely lost. So hopefully NASCAR gets the memo and goes back there soon. On Sunday, July 11th July 18th for the 21st race of the season, we have Watkins Glen International. Once again, another road course. Watkins Glen, we've seen some great finishes there, so no need to change it, having it in the summer months. Then on Saturday, July 24th, a night race at Eldora Speedway for the 22nd race. Now, the only reason I have Eldora here instead of Knoxville is because I don't have another race in Ohio, and we already have Iowa, which is where Knoxville Speedway is anyway. So having a race in Ohio will allow for great fans to be there. It's unfortunate what happened to it now because the trucks aren't going there anymore, but in my world, they still will, and the Cup Series will also go there for its one and only dirt race of the season. And yeah, we're definitely returning to NASCAR's roots with some dirt racing and an actual made dirt track, not dirt Bristol, which is just going to be an abomination. Okay, so we have 1 week here, one off week for the Olympics, which normally NASCAR has 2 off weeks, but we only have one because we have this off week. But then we move on to when the other off week would be, but we're just going to put this race on Fox. Normally this would be on NBC, but they have so much Olympic coverage, they're putting this one on Fox or FS1. So the 23rd race of the season, Sunday, August 8th, is Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. Obviously a day race, putting the Brickyard 400 back on its original weekend in August. Look, I gotta be honest with you, the Indy Oval was pretty terrible for NASCAR, and having them go to the road course next year is great because the Xfinity race was so phenomenal there last year. And having them go to the road course for the Cup Series, I think is only going to ramp up that intensity, especially this late in the season. And another road course race really doesn't hurt, but I still don't want to see them flooding the schedule with road courses. On Sunday, August 15th, we have New Hampshire Motor Speedway. During the day, this track doesn't have lights either. New Hampshire is a great track. It's a 1-mile track. You really have to use lots of brakes. It's kind of like a short track, so there's no need to take it off, or no need to really move it too far. Then on Saturday, August 21st, the Bristol night race. Once again, I really don't need to have to say anymore. Bristol is one of the greatest tracks that NASCAR has, especially with the multi-groove racing. It's always a great sight to see. Sunday, August 29th, we move to Road America. I really do not mind having Road America as 4th of July weekend, but I still think that belongs to Daytona. So having it here, still during the summer months, because it's obviously in Wisconsin as the 26th race of the season here, is a great idea. Road America is a massive track. It's 4.1 miles. Sometimes it gets a little annoying when there's so many cautions, pace laps take so long, and then there's a stage caution. So we're fixing that by obviously not having cautions for the stages, and we're going to have local yellows at all road courses, and especially this one. This one probably needs it the most. So on Labor Day weekend, Sunday, September 5th, we have the Darlington Raceway Southern 500 at night, the 27th race of the season. Darlington, is one of those tracks that isn't a short track. It's like an egg-shaped 1.3 mile, but it's probably one of the best tracks out there. And this is going to be throwback weekend, because having throwback weekend in May in real life Darlington race now is pretty stupid. I get the point that the sponsors want their normal paint schemes for the playoffs, but this is the historic race in September, so they should have the throwback schemes then. The sponsors can handle one race without their normal logos, and I have a better solution for them. Why don't they just get rid of the playoffs? So I mean, they should just do that. Get rid of the playoffs, get rid of all the gimmicks, and just have them actually race for points, and the champion be the guy with the most points at the end of the season. So for the 28th race of the season on Sunday, September 12th, we have the Pocono Day race. Pocono, it's kind of underrated because the Xfinity races there lately have been really good. I think it's just the Cup cars and the package is just really bad. And it's really unique. It's the tricky triangle. Having it in September isn't too much of a difference than having it in the summer months. There's really no reason for me moving it, just because I wanted the races in June and July and August to be where they are now, and this is just where it kind of landed. So I think it's not going to be too snowy or cold. I think it'll be fine in early September. For the 29th race of the season, we have yet another night race, and this is where it starts ramping up to get pretty crazy towards the end of the season. On Saturday, September 18th, we have Richmond Raceway, another short track. The 3/4 mile track there's nothing wrong with it. When there's one bad race, people hate on it for like no reason. But obviously, I am gonna have one race for it just because we can fit better tracks on the schedule too. For the 30th race of the season, we have the final mile and a half of the season, which is pretty separate from all the other mile and a halves. We have Sunday, September 26th at Kansas Speedway. Obviously, the Kansas Day race. Now, Kansas is a good track, and we've especially seen it with this package that it can be a good race because nobody can really get away from each other, but then you have the part where you can't even pass someone because of their artificial massive spoilers, which is just so annoying. Dirty air gets really annoying, but Kansas Speedway is a multi-groove racetrack that I think should stay on the schedule for years to come. Now, for the 31st race of the season, on Sunday, October 3rd, we have a North Wilkesboro Speedway race during the day. Now, I mentioned Nashville and Rockingham are really big problems, really big issues for NASCAR to get rid of, but this is definitely their biggest mistake of all time to get rid of North Wilkesboro Speedway. This half-mile short track, it's literally one of the best tracks in the world, and for them to just leave it to rot, like with the stands rotting and trees and grass just growing all over the pavement and everywhere in the stands, it's really disappointing because, there was nothing wrong with this track. Everybody likes this track. It has elevation changes on the straightaways. It's one of the most unique short tracks out there. It's just really unfortunate that NASCAR decided to put those lame cookie cutter intermediate mile and a half tracks instead of this amazing short track. So just really disappointing, but hopefully they can renovate it and get it back once again someday soon. For the 32nd race of the season, we have on Sunday, October 10th, Circuit of the Americas during the day. NASCAR is going to Circuit of the Americas in real life next year. I'm really excited about it. COTA is one of those great road courses that is really going to be interesting to see. And for this race, though, this is not going to be, Circuit of the Americas is not going to be on the schedule every year, because during this race, every year, it's going to have a rotating road course. So the dates can change. The dates can change for the rotating all-star race, and the dates can change for this rotating road course race. I don't want to see NASCAR flood the schedule with road courses. I know many people do not. And I think that's where they're heading. I do not want them to flood it with road courses. So a better way to do it would be to have a rotating road course race every year. There's so many great road courses out there. I have a massive list of them right here. Get ready, buckle in, because there's a bunch of them. You have Laguna Seca, Mid-Ohio, the Daytona road course. We could have that for a points race. Canadian Tire, Montreal, street courses. NASCAR's interested in that. Chicago, Los Angeles, Toronto, or even Seattle are a few ideas. VIR, Portland, Road Atlanta, Barber, Suzuka or Motegi, Mexico City, Lime Rock Park, Sebring, or even go back to airport races. That's really returning to NASCAR's roots. And you can fit all these in the schedule each year instead of fitting it all onto one schedule and making the schedule look like Formula One. So I think it's a great idea to have a rotating road course every single year. The 33rd race of the season on Sunday, October 17th, is a day race at the Phoenix Raceway. Having this as the championship race really didn't completely work. I think Homestead was maybe a little better. Phoenix is a great track, but just something about it didn't feel like a championship race. It was really one-grooved when we had it as the championship race. Having it late in the season really ramps up the intensity, and having it one time during the season is good so we can fit even better tracks on the schedule during this 36-race NASCAR Cup Series schedule. The 34th race of the season on Sunday, October 24th, is Talladega Superspeedway, obviously the day race. Talladega, once again, I already said enough. Talladega's up there in probably the top 2 or 3 best NASCAR tracks of all time, especially with this package. It's just photo finishes, pretty much all you can ask for in a race. The 35th race of the season, the second to last race of the season, on Sunday, October 31st, Halloween, we have the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. Now, it is a night race. Now, you may be thinking, Oh my, we're going to lose all of these viewers because it's on Halloween night. Well, listen, I'm using the 2021 dates, and we already know the 2021 schedule, and this is not going to happen in 2021. So if we just use the 2022 schedule, Halloween would be on a Monday, so none of the races of this weekend would interfere with that. So having the Roval as a Sunday night race, just ignore that it's on Halloween night, as a Sunday night race would be fine, because I really want to see night road racing, and that'll be a great thing for all. I mean, the Clash is going to have it, and the trucks will also have it at Daytona next year, but I feel like the Roval is a way more exciting track than that, and having it at night will only ramp up the intensity, and having it on a Sunday night doesn't really matter because obviously they can race in the rain, and we saw that with the Xfinity Series this year, even though it was a complete mess, but that doesn't mean it wasn't fun to watch. So for the final race of the season, the championship race, the 36th race of the season on Sunday, November 7th, we have Martinsville Speedway during the day. Martinsville has the best finishes, probably one of the best tracks out there in NASCAR. Short track racing for the championship finale. We had short track racing beginning with the Clash, and now short track racing ending the season. Now, just like the All-Star and road course races, like the Circuit of the Americas date, the championship race will rotate every single year to a different track. So you can have things like, thinking off the top of my head, like the Charlotte Roval would be nice. Obviously, weather plays a factor. The Daytona road course, we could give that a points race. Auto Club short track would be a good idea. So things like that, because obviously weather has to play a factor this late in the season, this late in the year. But Martinsville, the excitement is going to be on during Martinsville. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what different things you would do to your custom schedules. And like I said, I will have Xfinity and truck schedules out at some point, and possibly IndyCar and ARCA, but it's kind of doubtful. But thank you so much for watching once again, guys. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.